Lakers fall to Golden State. During the game, Billy said, and I wrote it down, the Lakers looking weary at times. Second night of a back-to-back. We're watching the game and we're all talking. They just never seem to have the flow or the rhythm or the consistency on either end of the court to beat a team like the Warriors, even though they were shorthanded as well. But they still have Kevin Durant. They have a great bench. And the Lakers, every time they were close, just too much Warriors and never able to really get over that hump. It wasn't the effort, James. Just wasn't good enough tonight.
Yeah, we always say when you have back-to-back games, you have to have mind over matter. But sometimes when you have back-to-back games and you're limited, you're missing some key players, and you had an emotional game the night before against what's going to be a rivalry against Denver, yeah, sometimes you can deplete energy. It wasn't because of lack of effort, I don't think. I think they really played hard as they could with, putting in players like Ware and Ennis trying to plug in. Golden State missing some players, but they still a fine-tuned team with Kevin Durant on the floor. And we just didn't have enough, firepower or bench power or just enough tonight to overcome that.
Yeah, and I think he was the difference maker. I'm talking about Kevin Durant down the stretch. When they needed buckets, he was able to be the guy that can get them over the hump. Even though, as a team, Golden State played pretty well without him in the first half, but it was still a close game. But like I said, that last 5 or 6 minutes of the game when he checked in, he really took it upon himself to be the difference maker. On the other side, the Lakers wasn't able to do that. Isaiah Thomas and those guys, like you said, it's a back-to-back, a high-energy game, emotional game yesterday to come in and face a team who really have admiration as far as staying close to Houston, and it was an important game. And they outplayed our bench. Yeah. Livingston came off the bench and did a great job. And unfortunately for us, like you said, you have a lot of guys who been in the D-League back and forth, and it's kind of difficult to have that chemistry as far as being a second unit.
You know what else? When you're a championship team and you're practicing against, championship caliber players every day, guys like Livingston and Caspi and Iguodala, they're not just your ordinary bench players. They're backup starters because they've won. So just because they were missing some vital players, I mean, they still, kind of like San Antonio, they know how to plug in players and still get the job done.
And listen, 7 Warriors in double figures. Nick Young had 0 at the half. He ended up with 18. But without Steph and Clay and Draymond, the ball is in Kevin Durant's hands. It's like when Kyrie went down back in the day and LeBron had the ball in his hands every time. That's not necessarily a great thing for the other team because he's setting the table for everybody. He gets the 5 rebounds, the 6 assists, and he has that efficient night. And like you said, Twan, every time that game just got somewhat close and the Lakers had momentum, it's either Livingston or it's KD that can just kind of get to their spots and make things happen.
And you look what KD did. To start the game, he really had that ball moving. And they did a great job as far as he might not have had a lot of assists, but he moved the ball early, and it was the hockey assist, guys having open shots, and it really had the Lakers defense on skates, trying to figure out who's open because the defensive scheme was to get the ball out of his hands. And, I mean, KD is one of the best to ever play it, so he knows exactly how to get his teammates involved and then take over the game. And like I said, Livingston, he's been doing this for a long time, and somewhere else he is a starter night in and night out.
You know what the Lakers missed tonight? Length, seemed like. No Kuz, no Ingram, just those extra rebounds defensively. Hart. I mean, obviously those guys add a lot on both ends of the floor. But hey, everybody's hurt at this point, so you got to deal with it.